You might find it interesting to see a fishnet on my lap. This is one of the keys to learning the forehand and backhand volley, and I'll show you why in a moment. First, we start with one basic grip if we can, which would be like our service grip. Belly button, finger extended, and our goal is to use that grip on the forehand volley and the backhand volley. There might be a subtle little change from time to time. And what I'd like everyone to think about is, if I have a clock right here, and this is 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock plane is where I want to hit the forehand volley, which is slightly to my side, slightly in front. 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the 10 o'clock plane is where I want to hit the backhand volley. Now, in order to learn to do that and to keep my racket quiet, quiet means stationary as opposed to this, which I call noisy. Quiet racket. I use a fishnet. Put the racket after my push to 2 o'clock, after I push to 10 o'clock. So watch again. And since I'll be hitting straight ahead, I push, put my racket to 2 o'clock, and I catch the ball. In order to catch it, my racket face has to be in this position. Watch again. I push forward, racket to 2 o'clock, and catch. You see that angle. When I use the racket, I'm pushing, get my racket to 2 o'clock, and make contact to the side and slightly in front. And another thing that we use that's really helpful is an arrow. Alan has one under the basket. We put the arrow into the strings, and the arrow has to face over the net so the ball goes over the net. Wherever the arrow is facing, that's where the ball's going to go. I push, 2 o'clock, and over. So as we did with the forehand, we're going to use the fishnet to introduce the volley, make an effort to catch the ball. 12 o'clock, 11, 10. We're at 10 o'clock. So I push forward, the chair moves a little bit to my side, and I catch the ball at 10 o'clock. One more. Move in. 10 o'clock. Okay, now we have the arrow. Again, if the arrow's facing over the net, the ball's likely to go over the net. And here we go.
So we're going to do the basic forehand volley, and Alan is going to feed underhanded, which makes it more comfortable for the player. So I'm moving in, I'm putting some underspin on the ball. That racket angle gives me that little underspin, which gives me control. Having the racket face at 2 o'clock. And as I'm moving in, the racket is strong. Racket is above the wrist. As I'm moving in, racket above the wrist. Now the next step in the progression is move the hand down the grip. Same concept, moving in, Rackets at 2 o'clock and starting above the wrist. Racket above the wrist. A little bit of underspin for control. So for the basic backhand volley, going to move in, and you'll watch my left hand as I move in. I'm leaning for the volley. I'll grab the wheel, grab my left wheel, moving in, grab it. I can get side on for the volley. And I also do not want to have a weak wrist. I want to keep the wrist nice and strong. Nice and strong. So now we'll grip down. As we progress through the learning curve.